What is going on, beautiful people? I have my hat on because I really need a haircut, so apologize for the rough look here. Um Wanted to talk about something that I always get questioned about, and especially my videos that still are being watched, and I'm pretty grateful for those videos that I made. It's very informative, and it pretty much breaks down the fifth gen Camaro that I used to own. And I used to get comments like this all the time. I get them every once in a while now, but one of them caught my attention, and he commented on one of my videos and reached out to me about what is the best way to buy a Camaro for himself. I think he said he was 16 or 17. He had 5 to 10 grand saved up. And I wanted to come on here and tell you guys how I was able to quote unquote afford my Camaro SS. The one that was on the channel was a 2013, or was it 2012? It was a 2012 2SS with the sunroof, with heated seats, everything that you would ever want, except the infotainment center. It was just still the stock one that had the CD player. It didn't have a touchscreen or anything like that, but I really could care less if it had a touchscreen or not. I was more into it for the performance and the outside appearance of the car. Now, the reason I say quote unquote able to afford the Camaro was because I get questions like that all the time, and I have my notes here on what I want to touch on because I really I'll be honest with you. I couldn't afford the Camaro. Plain and simple, I couldn't afford it. And the reason why I couldn't afford it is because if I put all the factors in that, you know, a typical human being has, I wouldn't be able to afford it. The only reason I was able to quote unquote afford it is because at the time I lived with my parents, and I really had no one to tell me where to invest my money. You know, nobody really came to me or had the desire to look up to, like, where should I invest my money in. Now there's so many people that on YouTube that tell you how to invest your money, how to get the best return. I should have I guess looked into that when I was a little younger, because I spent so much money on cars. And I don't want you to misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm not saying having cars is bad. I'm not saying that at all, and I'll touch a little bit and on why. And so I had no responsibilities. That's the first thing. No responsibilities. I had zero bills. I think at that time I maybe gave my fam like $50 for groceries per week, about $300 rent, $400 rent. So all that I had left, when I think about it now, if I should have saved it, bought some property, that would have been the smartest way to go about it. But we're young. We want to experience having fun. We want to experience having nice cars. And so I went out and bought myself a few Camaros. And now the lifestyle that I have, or the lifestyle that I have, but it changed because obviously my daughter was born, and you start looking at life a little different. My income did double after I had bought the Camaro. I'm not gonna say specifics, but I think the average right now American household is combined, and this is, you know, both of them working, I think it's around $65,000. And I have been very blessed to have a job that pays me a little bit over average. Like I said, I'm not gonna go into specifics. I don't like talking about that. I don't know. I just don't like talking about that topic. But I just want you to kind of see where I'm at financially, and how, with my previous videos, I was saying, how are people affording to pay their cars? You have to be making, and basing it off a $1,500 to $1,700 rent or mortgage. That's basing it off of that, because that's pretty much what you see nowadays. You know, if you're living in like Tennessee, Kentucky, if you're in like New York, I think it goes to $2,000. California, $2,000, $2,500 for just like a 1 bedroom. But yeah, you have to be making at least 80 to 90 or $100,000 to, you know, save up for a vacation, to buy clothes, to buy this, to buy that. But if you just want to like survive, I think 65, 70 is right there. You're just, you know, breaking even. If you know how to manage your money, you'll be able to save anywhere to, you know, $300, $400, $500 a month. But the reason I was able to afford the Camaro at that time was because I had no responsibilities. I had no bills. I had nothing. I had nothing that I was responsible for. Now that I am a father and a husband, then that changes dramatically. I cannot be selfish with spending my money on cars or mods or things like that. There's a lot of things that I need to cover as a father, as a husband, and your mentality changes too, because now you're not thinking about what you should buy for your car. Again, I'm not saying buying things for your car is a bad thing. It's whatever phase you are in your life. But there's phases in your life where you can be smarter than other people, right? You can't just, I mean, you can, but if I would give advice to my younger self, I would tell myself to save that money and invest it into a property. That's the first thing that I would tell myself. Save all the money, either create a business and go from there, because whenever you live at home, you have so much potential on creating your own business, saving so much money that people need to take advantage of. But right now, the cool thing to do is, obviously, if you live with your parents, if you have all this money, buy clothes, buy cars, buy that. That's the cool thing to do, I guess. But I'm not against having your car if you have the means for it. Like, if like a lot of YouTubers have the channel that, you know, creates revenue and it helps them pay for the car, I'm not mad at that. You know, some people are making 100 to 150,000 and they keep their expenses low and they have a nice car. I'm not mad at that at all. It's when you are just scraping through to get to your next paycheck and you still decide to get into something like that, especially if you have no responsibilities. Because at the end of the day, and I wrote the notes here too, let's see, because at the end of the day, so life happens, you know. I would say most people, most guys that are into cars, I'm assuming most of them want to get married one day, have kids, have all of that. I was able to save a good chunk of money. I think it was around 23 grand that I had saved up, because I had always wanted my wife to stay at home with our kids, and I knew things would come up, like medical bills for, you know, kids they come with a hefty medical bill at the hospital, and I knew I wanted to get a house someday, and those savings just went at all of that, because I didn't want to have to pay the hospital like on a payment plan. I just I can't speak. I just took the initiative to just pay it all and just be done with it. There was some closing costs that I needed to take care of. There was things that I needed. Well, I broke my lease. I was like $4 grand. That really hurt me to spend, but that's something that I needed to do because I had signed a 12-month lease and I was already like 3 months in the lease and I had bought my house. Anyways, if you're gonna buy a house, please don't get another lease. At least go live with your parents, or rent somewhere that you can rent for, short term. But there's a lot of things that come in life, family, things like that, and you have to be prepared for that, because you never know. Sometimes love just comes and it gets you, and then next thing you know, you're gonna get married, have kids, and things like that. And so it's good to save money. And what I would suggest, and this is not me hating, because a lot of people are like, oh, you don't want people to succeed or have nice cars. It's not that. I want people to succeed. I want young people to succeed, to be honest with you. I don't want them to look at themselves 10, 15 years from now and be like, I should have done this, I should have done this. I didn't have anybody to tell me or how to do this and do that. I feel like I'm obligated to advise other young people that always come to my channel and say, hey, how can I afford this? How can I get this, get that? And my advice is like, hey, if you have the means to do it, if you have cash to do it, let's say you have $30,000-$40,000 cash, which a lot of youngins can do because of their situation, living at home and things like that. They can save a good chunk of money, especially if they have a good paying job. They can rack up 30-40 grand in like 2-3 years. And if you're like me, you like old school type of muscle cars, like a 5th-gen Camaro, some of them are selling for 15,000-17,000. I would say get it if you have the means, cash, right? But if you are making $20,000 a year, you have my camera just went out. Okay, my light just went out. Hopefully you guys can see me still. If not, I'll bump up the brightness. But if you are making $20,000 a year, barely making it with no responsibilities, then your finances are not great. You're not in that right headspace. I would say work yourself up to it. Like myself, right now, I'm not in the space to buy another muscle car. Will I buy one? Will I buy another one eventually? Of course I will, because I love cars. I love modding cars, but it's not the time right now, and it's not smart for me. So the advice that I can give other people is save your money and invest your money. I'm not saying save your money until you die, because you'll only save like 100 to 200,000, and that's not enough to live. Save your money, invest in opening a business, invest in buying a property, and then buying properties after that. Then after that, you have all the means to buy cars and mod it the way you want it, and life is just gonna be a lot better. And everybody's like, oh, life is too short to drive an old car or whatever. The thing I tell people that say that is, you have to love the process on getting yourself to the next level. It's not just about instant gratification. That we live in a world that's pretty much the the trend. It's just instant gratification. If you want it, you get it, boom, that's it. But once you get older, you start realizing that money is not just money. Money can do a lot of things, and if you invest it correctly, if you are smart with it, you will go a long way. So how was I able to afford it? I couldn't. That's the reality. I couldn't. I thought I could. Just because I'm making the monthly payment doesn't mean you can afford it, right? I could be pinching pennies to be making my car payment, but that doesn't mean I can afford it. My advice is to really get good with your money first and then get toys after. That's what I plan to do. If the channel starts to create revenue that can, cover for that cost, then I can potentially get one sooner than later. But my goal right now is to try to get my financial, my financial picture together, and really make myself, proud, when I'm like 40 or 50. So that's just an advice. If you take it, you take it. If you don't, you don't. I just felt like I needed to say that because I get a lot, like I said, I get a lot of comments on specific videos on people wanting to get that car. And like I said, don't take me wrong. There's nothing wrong about getting yourself a Camaro, a nice car. There's nothing wrong about it. It's the reasonings behind it, right? It's there's a lot of other smarter ways to get the dream car that you want, but you have to hustle. You have to put in the work. You have to, or create a YouTube channel. Be consistent. Create a revenue for yourself that can cover that cost. Do something, right? But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you could afford, or how you can afford, your Camaro SS. And if there's any advice that you can pass on to the people watching the channel, please let me know in the comment section below. I love reading the comment sections, and more videos like this coming soon. I know it's a huge change from my channel, my whole channel life, but this is it. This is the new me. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next video.